Did you see what's going on? Obviously, you've seen what's going on in California. But the governor gave this creepy fucking speech where he was talking about speculators coming in and talking about what to do with the land of all these homes that have been burnt down. While it's still only 6% contained. And he did this little dance, like, I've been talking with these, with the governor of Hawaii about what to do. We got some ideas. A speculator, we're going to have some meetings. Like, he's
really?
Oh,
California Governor Gavin Newsom is now calling his city's homeless encampments unacceptable, which is odd since he's the guy who, made them acceptable, turning sidewalks into red carpet events for drug addicts, thieves, and unemployed CNN anchors. On Monday, he urged cities to ban the camps from sidewalks, parks, and other public areas. So after years of denying the problem, he's now pretending to fix it, which is like putting on a condom as you're leaving a whorehouse. Who hasn't?
It started with a confident smile, but it didn't last long. In the middle of the chaos, Gavin Newsom seemed to forget which camera he was even talking to, and everyone saw it. Joe Rogan came in like a freight train, throwing out facts one after another. Then Rogan Gutfeld followed close behind, landing jokes sharper than California's tax increases. What happened next wasn't just criticism. It was a slow-motion blow-up that left nothing standing. Not even Newsom's rock-solid hair gel survived the moment. So grab your popcorn because this wasn't just a debate. It was a full on-air meltdown.
Nobody wants President Newsom either. Nobody believes in that guy. That guy's a fucking con man. Everything he did in California, from trying to mandate vaccines for kids to being caught public without a mask and lying about the fact that he was outdoors.
Yeah.
Nobody believes in that guy. He's just a politician. Just a stone-cold, narrative-driven politician. Nobody thinks he's a real human. Whether you like Trump or not, whether you think he's corrupt or not, that's a human being. You know what that guy is. Same thing with RFK Jr. Whether you believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective, and that's a human being. With Newsom, you got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President.
Cut to Gavin Newsom. The camera zooms in, almost like his hairline is bargaining with an expensive bottle of conditioner. He's frozen at the podium, glowing with the confidence of a man who thinks the world pauses when he speaks. Then, boom, the voiceover hits, loud and dripping with sarcasm. The moment Rogan and Gutfeld locked in on California's golden boy, it stopped being a conversation. It turned into a televised demolition, all tailored suits and sharp hits. This wasn't a debate. It was a clean wrecking ball smashing straight through Newsom's polished political image.
Kennedy, I think the answer is yes. Was
it because of Israel? Yes. Interest rates? Yes. Too woke? Yes. It's like every bad policy that trickled up to the White House during the Biden administration started in California. That state is responsible for the worst politicians in modern history. And he is at the top of the list, and there are some ignoramuses on that list.
Let's talk about Gavin. He walks into every room like it's a fashion show for big government. He's perfected the politician starter pack, the toothpaste ad smile, the practiced TED Talk lines, and a leadership style that freezes quicker than a buffering screen. He's the golden child of progressive politics. Smooth, confident, always tossing out climate slogans, and probably carrying a wallet made of recycled awards. But take away the polished surface, and what's left? Just sparkle, ego, and a lot more performance than real progress.
Their houses have been burned, all their childhood memorabilia, all the stuff for their kids, the photos, the fucking everything they have is gone. All heirlooms, their mother's wedding ring, that kind of shit. Everything's burnt to the ground. And this guy's like standing in front of all this stuff, and he's got a smile on his face, and he's talking about land use.
The development plans.
Watch this.
And don't get me started on his climate speeches. Gavin has enough eco-promises to stock an entire Whole Foods aisle. Yet California's power grid gives up at the first strong breeze. They tell everyone to go electric, then warn people not to charge their cars between 4 and 9 p.m. because the sun is already checked out. The irony is peak. Banning gas stoves while half the state makes dinner by flashlight. This isn't real policy. It's climate theater, a tragic comedy where people stumble in the dark while pretending it's progress.
And he's the guy who thinks he's going to run for president when, so much of the state is absolutely unlivable. And so every project that he's championed, he's now trying to demonize conveniently. And people are not that dumb. Like, people have been through it in his state. They are sick of him. They want him to leave. And maybe that's why so many people around him are like, you should totally run for president. So he gets out of the state.
Yes. Move away. Tyrus, did he leave out anything?
He didn't just leave California. He ran from it. Like someone spotting a glitch in the Matrix and sprinting for the nearest exit. And honestly, who could blame him when the state started looking more like a post-apocalyptic video game than a paradise? Even a heat-loving, elk-hunting podcast king eventually had enough. Rogan hit the gas, rolled down Interstate 10, and never looked back. He traded smog for Texas skies and rules for freedom, like a UFC champ swapping kale for steak. And he didn't leave quietly. He took the loudest microphone on the planet with him, the Joe Rogan Experience. This isn't just a podcast. It's a media monster with over 100 million listeners and an algorithm that keeps CNN up at night. Rogan's secret? No filters, just facts and fire, and nothing sparked that fire faster than Newsom's lockdown logic. While Gavin sipped fine wine like the world was ending, Rogan called out the hypocrisy so hard even the French Laundry felt the heat.
Down in Hawaii, you had some ideas around some land use concerns he has around speculators coming in, buying up properties, and the like. So we're already working with our legal teams to move those things forward, and we'll be presenting those in a matter of days, not just weeks.
With a big smile on his face. Look at the little wiggle he does with his shoulders. Speculator, watch this. Talking to Josh. Look at this. Look at this little wiggle. It's excited about the possibilities of speculators coming in. And he's saying we're move forward. We're going to move forward on that. These people lost their homes. A lot of those people don't even have fire insurance because the fire insurance pulled out of California. I think like 69% of fire insurance pulled out of California because they're like, this is too crazy. Like, you guys aren't doing jack shit to manage this. You're not clearing the brush.
And Rogan didn't show up alone. He came with a lineup, doctors, economists, and comedians armed with expert-level sarcasm, all pointing to the same shocking reality. California's rules made less sense than a TikTok finance guru using cartoon filters. Small businesses were crushed while giant corporations walked through the chaos like they owned the place. Health orders felt like they were pulled from a magic 8-ball, random, confusing, and always inconvenient. And through it all stood Gavin, flashing that bright white smile, convinced a little hair gel could repair broken trust. Then came the tech exodus, a modern Oregon Trail, only this time it was Teslas instead of wagons. Rogan didn't just talk about it, he packed up and left, moving his studio to Austin, where blackouts aren't a daily event. California became hostile to innovation and allergic to freedom. And Rogan's strongest argument wasn't a chart or a quote. It was his own life.
So, while Californians have lost their homes and they're still suffering from the devastation, what does Gavin Newsom decide to do? Well, now is apparently the perfect time to try and boost his popularity and essentially promote himself. He's launched a podcast. I'll play you the trailer in just a moment, but take notice. Does the trailer that he shared with the world on X, does it even mention the most horrific fire catastrophe that occurred under his leadership, partly as a result of the decisions he was making, like cutting fire prevention? No, this is his chance to talk about his image, insisting that he's no ordinary politician.
He didn't need to yell or put on a show. He just took the mic and said what everyone was already thinking. This isn't working. Then Rogan Gutfeld jumped in like a raccoon on mission, armed with a PhD in sarcasm. He doesn't shout, he cuts. Every word lands with a smirk. Every line hits hard enough to sour almond milk. Gutfeld delivers takedowns cold, slick hair, perfect timing, and precision that stings. He looked at Gavin's polished shine and said what millions were already whispering. The guy looks like a cologne ad, but governs like he's playing SimCity blindfolded. Then he pulled back the curtain. Behind the glossy smile were tent cities, boarded up shops, and juice bars barely hanging on. A dystopia with a yoga mat. And through it all, Gavin kept smiling, like homelessness could be fixed with scented candles and motivational quotes.
About anything? I think there's about 100 other reasons too.
Well, it's not his words when he speaks.
Yeah.
You have to watch him closely. And some genius decided not to film him any lower than the shoulder.
Yes, did you? Yes.
So what did he do?
You couldn't see the hands.
No, but he sent Morse code.
Yes.
Go back and watch it. Look at the blinking. Blink, look. Meet me at the house. Like, he's blinking. He's sending. I'm getting there. Hey, just so you know, I'm not wearing pants.
But Gutfeld didn't stop at the surface. He went straight for the jugular. His real target was the media's obsession with Gavin. Legacy outlets treat him like a modern-day JFK, just with better teeth and a reusable tote bag. But behind the glow is chaos, lightly coated in a spray tan. Gutfeld's monologues weren't just jokes, they hit like heavy artillery. He tore apart headlines praising Gavin's bold leadership, while everyday people were drowning in gas bills, sky-high rent, and grocery panic. Families struggled to afford milk, yet magazines gushed over his so-called visionary aura. Then came the climate comedy. Gutfeld unloaded like a caffeine-fueled truth sniper, slicing through buzzwords like carbon justice and solar dreams. It all sounds noble until you ask who's footing the bill. While regular folks sit through blackouts, bureaucrats glide around in hybrids like extras in a sci-fi movie. Charging stations are mostly imaginary. Gutfeld didn't just expose it, he ripped it apart. This wasn't saving the planet. It was an Instagram photo op dressed up as policy.
When Gavin Newsom talks about California, he's like, I'm very big on California, very bullish on California. Hey, they're all moving. The only reason why they don't move is because it's too difficult to move. It's too expensive to leave versus all the bullshit with all the permits and all that. It's too expensive. Believe that he's correct about vaccines or whether you believe his policies would be effective. And that's a human being. With Newsom, you've got like this construct, this cardboard cutout of a person. I don't think people want that, but they might want it more than they want President Trump.
Then came the knockout punch, Gavin's White House fantasy. Whispers of 2028 swirl around him like incense at a yoga retreat, but Gutfeld isn't buying it. He tore into the idea that a man who can't manage one state could run an entire country. He's running all right, Gutfeld snapped, but it's from accountability, not for president. The jokes almost wrote themselves. Newsom's White House dream? Like trying to franchise a restaurant that just failed 3 health inspections. The sign looks great, but the kitchen's a disaster. The freezers are busted, and the Yelp reviews are on fire, literally. Gutfeld didn't just joke, he blew the illusion apart. Every punchline carried a brutal truth even Gavin's PR team couldn't spin. Then came the ultimate tag team. Joe Rogan and Greg Gutfeld, like twin wrecking balls smashing Newsom's myth. Rogan brought the facts. Gutfeld brought the fire. Together, they proved Newsom's leadership doesn't just miss. It erases the entire target.
Runs for national office, he acts like a Republican. This is where the left is really pro-trans. Suddenly, they grow balls.
He didn't yell, didn't wave his arms, and didn't throw a tantrum. Rogan just spoke with that calm, steady tone that lands harder than a scream. People are leaving, businesses are shutting down, homelessness is rising. I moved for a reason. That voice hit like a velvet-wrapped sledgehammer. Rogan wasn't there to entertain, and that's exactly why it cut so deep. Then Gutfeld stepped in. Same precision, different style. Where Rogan broke it down with logic, Gutfeld roasted it with flair. He read the government script like a stand-up comedian stuck in the worst play ever. Every line dripping with disbelief. Rogan reached the thinkers, people hungry for facts, proof, and reality. Gutfeld grabbed the skeptics, the ones who stopped trusting mainstream news when slogans replaced sense. Rogan's fans shared charts and clips. Gutfeld's fans just pointed at the flaming chaos and said, "There it is."
California Governor Gavin Newsom has been facing major calls to resign over his appalling handling of the deadly California wildfires. And just to quickly recap, these were the most destructive wildfires the state has ever seen. More than 16,000 properties were destroyed. The cost of the fires is estimated to be more than $200 billion. And for businesses in LA County, the future is looking grim. It's projected businesses will continue to lose billions of dollars over the next 5 years due to destruction.
But no matter their style, Rogan with icy precision, Gutfeld with fiery sarcasm, they landed on the same brutal truth. Gavin Newsom isn't leading, he's performing. And the reviews? 2 giant thumbs down. This isn't just failure, it's failure covered in glitter. He's like a movie trailer promising a masterpiece but delivering 90 minutes of confusion, slow-motion speeches, and empty slogans. Rogan and Gutfeld weren't fooled for a second. Coming from opposite directions, they saw the same illusion and tore through it like pros. Gavin is the walking, talking symbol of style over substance. Endless speeches, zero results. When the two ripped off his polished mask, it stopped being commentary. It became a full-blown political intervention. One used a wrench, the other a chainsaw, and what they revealed left people across the spectrum nodding in stunned disbelief.
You know, when I went there, I had a great relationship with President Xi. We got along very well. And they treated me better than anybody's ever been treated. And I said, this air is good. Do you know they closed every factory 1 week before I got there from within 200 miles?
That's like what Gavin Newsom did when Xi Jinping came to San Francisco.
He cleaned it up.
He cleaned it up. He got rid of all
Isn't
the
that
homeless
terrible
people.
in a way to think, you know, he cleaned it up and then it became a pigsty.
Well, the dumbest thing is he said when your friends come by, when you have visitors, you clean up your house. Like, how about just keep your fucking house clean?
Can you imagine?
It's the dumbest thing I've ever
I
heard.
keep bringing up Gavin. Well, other than my respect for his work in American Psycho, he's starting to distance himself from his party's worst ideas. Newsom, a guy who hates fossil fuels but could still bring down the price of gas by wringing out his hair, once proclaimed that his state would be a sanctuary to all who seek it.
And suddenly, it all clicked for everyone. Libertarians, conservatives, burnt-out millennials, disillusioned hipsters, even that barista who swore off politics after the last election. Different walks of life, same reaction. They realized maybe the real disaster wasn't just failed leadership, it was the non-stop theater. And just when it couldn't get any crazier, boom, the final montage hit like a cinematic knockout. By then, it wasn't about who won, but what got exposed. Gavin Newsom didn't just face criticism, he got decoded. The curtain dropped, leaving only filters, flash, and fake solutions. Rogan could drop a full episode called California Collapse Volume 2. Gutfeld might turn it into a viral skit, Gavin's Glamour Tour, Homelessness Edition. And Gavin, will he reflect? Of course not. He'll probably post a wind turbine selfie with a caption like, "Leading with Vision." Because for him, it's never been about change. It's always been about the performance.